Hey everybody, Ryan here. I hope you are all having a great start to your Friday Eve, excuse me, and Thursday, excuse me again, Thursday as well, guys. But I also hope you guys are sitting back, relaxing, and getting ready to enjoy what is going to be a episode of remembrance, an episode of love, and an episode of what the meaning I love you. And we're going to get to that in just a little bit, guys. But we all know what today is. So let's get right into it, guys. Welcome back to a very special edition of Positive Time with Ryan, only on YouTube as a 9/11 remembrance. So, guys, in tonight's episode, we are going to honor and pay remembrance to a sad event that happened 24 years ago today in New York City in Pennsylvania, guys. And after that, guys, we are going to talk a little bit about two things that happened yesterday, of course, with Charlie Kirk and the Colorado shooting, guys. We are going to honor and pay our respects to those two in just a little bit, guys. So I do want to just say that this episode, guys, is going to be an episode of remembrance. Sorry for my voice, guys. I just wanted to say, guys, let's get on it, guys. So 9/11, guys, 24 years ago today, it was just another day. Another day for a lot of people, another day in life for everybody. Unfortunately, within a few hours in the early mornings on the East Coast, particularly Pennsylvania and New York City, it went from a normal day of life to a life of nightmares, disasters, loss, sadness, and one of the most devastating attacks on U.S. history in over a decade, guys. And that's where I really want to talk about it, guys. It all began at 8:46 in the morning on the East Coast. So this is 8:46 East Coast time in the morning on September 11th, 2001. American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. And we're going to get to that, back to that in just a little bit. I want you guys to remember this time, 8:46 a.m. East Coast time. Just a few minutes later, that would be 9:03 Eastern time, the second, another plane hit into the World Trade Center, guys. And we're going to get to what was even a little more disturbing than the first one, guys, in a little bit, guys. 10:03 a.m. on the East Coast, a U.S. airline plane crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, guys. And now we need to get back to it, guys. So again, 8:46 a.m., the first plane crashed through the World Trade Center, guys. And at that time, nobody thought any big, scary thing of it. They thought, there was maybe a problem with the plane, just a mechanical issue, guys. And at 9:03, it was live, actually. A NBC crew was right outside the World Trade Center after the North One hit to make a report of a live of it. And right as they were in the middle of that report, the second plane went through the World Trade Center at the Twin Towers, guys. And I believe one of the reporters said that a second plane has just went through the other side of the World Trade Center, guys, which is now called Ground Zero for that exact reason, guys. I want you guys to understand one thing, guys. When a plane crashes through a building and then just a few minutes later, it happens again. Same city, same day, within a few minutes. That is not a coincidence. That is not like, oh, we got two planes that may have an issue. That's not what the case is. And as much as it sickens me and pains me to say, in that moment, many people either were thinking that we have a terrorist attack, or they're like, what the heck is happening? And I just wanted to say, guys, I want you guys to think of you putting yourself in that building on that day, or on those 2 flights. It's just another day. You're on a flight, you're traveling somewhere, maybe to see family, maybe on business, maybe on vacation, or you were working in the Twin Towers, and it was another day at the office. You were walking in, you were working, you were smiling, talking to your coworkers, just another day in life. And within a few moments, you were in that building, and you had not many decisions. You had 2 decisions that you never thought you would have to make. And you only had seconds to choose one. Those 2 decisions were either get hit by the airplane or jump over 100 feet to your own death. And I know it's sickening, guys, and it's sad. But those are 2 decisions that absolutely nobody should ever have to think or make in their life. And you can only choose one, and you only have seconds to think what one you're going to choose. That's what haunts me. 24 is, when this all happened, I was just a little kid, an innocent little kid, and I didn't know what was going on. And over the years, I learned a lot about it, guys. And the reason I was really interested in 9/11 particularly, guys, is because as I was growing up, it was a holiday. I have a friend that lost his own uncle on this day because his own uncle was a victim in this. And every year, I talk to this friend. I always sit down with him. I buy him a cup of coffee. And I just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you're going through. 24 years later this morning, I sat down with him right before I went into work, did the same thing, and he once said to me, he's like, Ryan, he's like, I want you to just remember one thing. And I think this is a very valuable thing. So Matt, thank you for saying this to me. He said, make sure you always say at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day to your loved ones, to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your friends, to your family, that you love them. Because you never know when the last time you're going to say I love you is, yet alone see them for the last time. And that's always one thing I've always thought of, I've written down, because it is true, and it's something that I don't know. I mean, I really think that if you really grasp what that is and how that means, you really can sense that how important the words "I love you" are. And there's one song that Alan Jackson wrote. My grandpa loved Alan Jackson. He wrote a song about 9/11 called "Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning on That September Day?" And I want you guys, some of you may have not been born watching this. Some of you may have been little like me. Some of you even may remember. I want you to ask yourself, where were you when the world stopped turning? Because on this day, Pennsylvania, New York City, the world did stop turning. People lost their life, jumped to their death, got hit by a plane, or as even more scary of it, they had nowhere to go. They were on that plane, and all they could pray is that they loved the family and the friends. That's something you guys need to think about, guys. I want to say this, guys. I cannot imagine what those people thought went through their head. I cannot imagine people journalists watching people jump to their own death. That's what is haunting, guys. But at the same time, you need to think about this. This is something you don't just say, oh yeah, that's really scary, guys. It's something that, you never, these people never thought this would happen to them. And it did. So don't say it can't happen to you. Don't say it can't happen there, because you don't know that, guys. 24 years ago, to this day, the world stopped turning. Alan Jackson said it perfectly. And guys, the best outcome is that on this hellacious, evil, senseless, sadistic attack, New York City became the biggest city in the United States, to a city that has to remember this day in a very sad way forever. But there is a good outcome of it. There's a country that stands strong every year on this day, as we should. There's people in other countries that look at this day, they're not Americans, but they stand together, guys. I want you guys to ask yourself this, okay? The first responders, some of them lost their life this day doing what they do. Some of them suffered injuries. Some of them, well, it didn't matter. They were never the same. This day, guys, is unspeakable. And I understand, you got to move on. You kind of smile. And that is true, guys. But all I ask is that if you ever go to New York City, if you ever have the opportunity to go to Ground Zero, please do. Look at all those names. You may not know them. You may have never heard their name before. But all I ask is that you look at their name and you say one thing to them. You will never be forgotten. You will always be remembered. And that I love you. Maybe if you, I don't know, see someone that lost a loved one on this day, lost a parent, lost a family member, a friend, hug them and say, I'm sorry. Guys, it may be 24 years, it may be 100 years, it may be 1,000,000. But it's a day we'll never forget. It's a sad day. It's a day of remembrance. And I want you guys to ask yourself the question, just like Alan Jackson once said it best, where were you when the world stopped turning on this September day? I want you guys to understand, guys, that I've said this before. I need to say it again. Every day is a blessing. Life is a journey. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So every time you wake up, it is a blessing. It's a gift. I want you guys to remember that. Yeah. So yes, guys, just put yourself through that for just a little bit, okay? Someone once asked me if I was in that position where I had to jump to my own death or get hit by the plane. I didn't want to answer that. And a teacher asked me that. I didn't want to answer that. Not just because it was haunting, disturbing, tragic, depressing, but simply because I don't know what I would have done. And I only had seconds to choose. I don't know. But I do know this, guys. One of my goals, when I go to New York City for vacation, is I do want to go to Ground Zero. I don't care if it's Christmas Eve. I don't care what day it is. I want to go. I want to look at those people who lost their life and pay respect. Okay? I just do. And it's sad, You know, guys, if you've never heard the song Where This World Stop Turning on the September Day by Alan Jackson, guys, I don't really think it is more of a song, but it's a trueness, you know. It makes you look at life a different way, in a way. And I really like the song, guys, because he didn't really put emotion into it. He put honest and truth into it. And that's what makes the song so great, guys. But, you know, it was tough if I was going to do an honor and remembrance today on the channel or not. And I had to. I had to, guys, because I'm not a political man. I'm not. I hate politics. You know, I think that in a way politics would be better off if there were none. But at the exact same time, guys, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree, but the one thing we all need to do is love. You know, in the song where the word Stop Turning on the September Day, faith, love, and hope is three things God gave us, and the greatest is love. That is literally a saying in that song by Alan Jackson, guys, and it is. Love. Guys, you don't need to just love a family member. You don't need to love a friend. You don't need to love your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. Love everybody. Okay? That's one thing this world is not getting a lot, is loving everybody. You know? And that's really something, guys. You know, you don't, I get told all the time, you know, how can you love a stranger? Well, there is one thing with you and a stranger you've never met before, you've never heard of before. You already have one thing in common. You're human. That's the biggest thing you have in common. And I want you guys to ask yourself where you were when this world stopped turning on this September day. I want you guys to remember when you always say you love you. Always say it to someone you love. Say it to anybody, guys. Because your family, your friends, you don't know when that last time will be. You don't know the last time you'll be able to talk to them, see them, and I want you guys to think of it that way. All right, guys, Charlie Kirk, guys, we all know what happened, and this is tough for me because, again, it is political. I'm not a politician. I can't stand politics, guys, but, you know, Charlie, he had a wife, he had a daughter that's just a baby toddler, and, you know, it's tough for me to say this, guys, but I do feel bad for his wife. His wife has to raise their daughter without her husband, without the love of her life. The daughter has to grow up without a dad because of a senseless, violent act. And you know what, guys? The one thing I've loved is I've seen so many people in the past 24 hours come and pay tribute and light a candle and just, you know, pray. And then say, you know, get justice for his family. If there's anybody that deserves justice, it is Charlie Kirk. It's his wife, it's his daughter, you know. But I would ask you guys to just keep Charlie Kirk family in your thoughts and prayers. I don't care if you like him. I don't care if you don't like him. At the end of the day, guys, he was an innocent person doing something he was passionate about and he loved. And someone took his life because of that. And that's sickening. That's sadistic. That's evil. You know? And it's sad, guys. Because I'm here, you know, and I'm talking about it. And it's not easy for me to talk about this on the channel, guys. But it is something I need to spread, guys. This world we live in in my opinion, is not the world I grew up in. It was when I was a kid, people respected each other. Agreed to disagree, sure. But they showed love, they showed kindness. And as I've grown up, I've seen that grow less and less and less. I've seen hate rise more. I've seen people affected. I've seen people depressed. I've seen people judged. And that's what's going on, guys. You know, I do believe this, guys. You need to not just say it, you need to do it. But saying it, guys, spread it. Just love someone. Love a stranger. You know, when you go to Starbucks and they give you your coffee, smile at them, thank them, tell them to have a nice day. You know, when you think a stranger, you know, be nice to one another. You know, think a first responder. You know, and just love someone, guys. 3 things, you know, we were given when we were born was faith, hope, and love. And the greatest is love. You don't have to agree with a life choice. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You do need to respect it, guys, and just have love. All right. All right, guys. I don't want to go on and on and on. There was a high school shooting in Colorado yesterday. I did not hear about this literally until this afternoon. That can show you guys how much I don't even watch the news. The only news I really watch is ESPN. But I would ask you guys to keep them in your thoughts and prayers, guys. There were 2 students shot. One of them is out of the hospital. But guys, this world is not the same, and it's in not a good way. Love somebody today, just anybody, a stranger. Tell them to have a nice day. Tell them that you know you are loved. You matter. You know, small things make a big difference, and that's all I need to say, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to end this with this. Tomorrow is going to not be a day of remembrance. It's going to be a day of excitement. Man, is it not just Friday, but I will reveal a very special surprise for you guys, right here on the channel tomorrow. Positive Time with Ryan, only on YouTube. A very special surprise will be revealed right here on the channel. It is something I am so excited about. It is something you will not want to miss, guys. Join me tomorrow afternoon right here, Positive Time with Ryan, for that very special surprise announcement. Before I go, guys, as always, drop a like if you enjoyed, and do me one more favor, most important out of anything I've said. Take care of yourself and each other. Make sure you go out, spread the word, love someone today, guys. And I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow for a very special surprise.